Indian esports, huh? All the glamours, the glitters. But is it here to stay though?
System. We keep lying to ourselves that we are growing in esports. It's a joke. Go outside of this country and see what an ecosystem looks like. I'm trying to talk to somebody to invest $1 million into this team, and here I have a bunch of kids like going against each other, talking about their mother, father, sister, mother, and would something like this be tolerated in cricket? If this guy was a cricketer and he said even remotely 5% of what he said, you think the BCCI would ever let him stay foot on the cricket ground?
Well, here it is again. I talk about video games on the internet and make some weird cinematic videos about it. I have been doing that daily, so yeah, sorry for that.
Today, we are talking about something important, and that is the state of Indian esports and where it stands as of now. Few disclaimers before the comment section goes. I'm going to discuss esports in its entirety. That means I'm going to be pulling in references from certain games to prove my point, but it should not project the idea that I'm neglecting certain titles or I'm primarily focusing on certain games. Number 2, I might be wrong in the legality of certain issues. I'm not a lawyer myself, but I've double checked and triple checked my facts. So it should be right, but in case I'm wrong on the intricacies of the law. Thirdly, I've taken extra efforts of adding subtitles throughout the entire video. So please, free me of the comment.
Arey Hindi bol! Hindi!
Finally, I also want to thank AFK Gaming for letting me use their content from their podcast with former Fnatic India's lead Mr. Nimish Rao, where they discuss the business impact of toxicity in esports. Again, I'm going to be linking the hour-long podcast in the description. It is on Spotify. If you want to hear the conversation in detail, you can check that out. Esports. It hurts and humbles. For every winner, a loser. For every triumph, a defeat. It demands hunger, determination, and grit. But only a select few achieve greatness, while the rest of them face despair. But on the horizon awaits a new dawn, a new opportunity for redemption, for glory, for immortality. When I think of esports 10 years down the line, I think of big teams squaring off in a massive stadium full of people going berserk for the love of the game. Players pushing limits, pulling off insane moves in state-of-the-art gaming arenas. They move, they aim, they shoot, they fight, they kill, and they celebrate. As the new season dawns, new stadiums will emerge. Broadcast rights will be sold off. Title sponsor rights will be auctioned. Millions of dollars in revenue will be generated while the warriors battle shoulder to shoulder, face to face, in the name of honor, in the name of glory, in the name of esports. And this entire money trickling down the system till it reaches the grassroots, where youngsters dream of becoming superstars of the future. Academies funded by that money to groom these young guns into professional athletes who in future star the front pager of the daily newspaper their parents read and feel proud of their kid. A new season awaits. However, that dream is far from reality. To reach that stage, we need to figure out what we're doing wrong, we need to fix it, and we need to move on. We need to correct these errors, and we need to figure out a way so that we don't repeat it again in the future. Esports is made up of 4 pillars: the audience, players, content creators, and game publishers. Each and every one of these pillars have individual roles and responsibilities which lead a particular game to being a sustainable esport for a long time to come. Content creators entertain the audience either by live streaming or making videos on a particular game. They play a huge role in the rising popularity of a game and also keeping the game relevant for a long time to come, so that when people go around, the game is a trending topic. Audience is what 50% of what esports is. Without quality audience, there is no business, there is no money, and therefore there is no esports. Viewership is one of the most important factors that attracts businesses and brands to invest in esports. And again, India has shown the potential that it is a viewership powerhouse in terms of generating mass numbers. But again, numbers is just not what is important. We need something more as well, and that is quality audience. I'm going to be talking about it later on in this video. The players bring the pinnacle of skill, under pressure performances, and top-notch competition. They're the protagonists here, and again, the driving force of the system. The publishers, for example, Tencent was in case of former PUBG, Krafton in case of BGMI, Garena for Free Fire, Riot for Valorant, and also certain tournament organizers, certain third-party tournament organizers fall in this particular category. They're the ones who are supposed to be looking after everything in and out of the game and also anything related to the system. They're responsible for proposing a plan, setting up an esports circuit, establishing hierarchy, and also to create institutions that ensure the smooth sailing of the circuit. They take care of the players, the teams, and everyone involved in the circuit, and finally give them the ideal conditions to perform. Content creators of the post-PUBG mobile era have been groundbreaking in terms of both numbers and growth in both the PC and the mobile gaming departments. But the sad story is that a large part of their personality online involves profanity and cussing. Again, Indian streamers have done a very commendable job in terms of presenting themselves online, but a large portion of them is yet to understand the implications of their behavior. The delusion of YouTube and its short-term success makes you blind to the consequences of using profanity. Audience love to see these easygoing streamers with language with which they feel relatable and they also feel entertained. While abuses, profanity, slangs used in a funny way of course don't harm the bigger picture of things, toxicity between creators, rivalries, controversies, and unprofessional behavior overall, that is a much larger problem that we have to face. Every person that logs in on YouTube to either live stream or post content has to be responsible of what sort of content that they're posting. It does not matter if they are a big creator or a small creator with 100 subs or a massive creator with 10 million subscribers, they all represent the same community. The recent string of incidents that have happened in the last few days, alongside a couple of thousand more in the past few years, just goes to show how grave a problem are we facing. People who are supposed to be entertaining the audience are the ones who are spreading hate, more so without no repercussions, community backlash followed by an apology video, and then a few days later everything returns back to normal. But the toll it takes on the business side of things does not wash off that easily. Events like these that blow up, become legal issues sometimes, really tarnish the image of the Indian gaming scene in front of the global market. Brands, instead of sponsoring, are going to run away from this space honestly if things like these continue to happen. Just like I previously mentioned, India has enormous potential in generating mass viewership. Our audience is diverse with varied interests. Most of the time, toxicity flows from the creators to the audience and vice versa. I feel toxicity sells in India as a form of entertainment, and therefore the creators buy into it. Indian servers in any game are probably the most malignant and racist servers out of all. We isolate people very easily because of things which shouldn't really matter. We are busy differentiating between players, teams, games, devices, platforms, and it is a quest for whose opinion is the best, instead of equally supporting everyone's choices. From Bollywood to television to esports, we are here for short-term masala, and that kind of explains why real content never sells in this country. The day we start fixing our choices and really valuing those clicks and watch time, a lot more money is going to come into the system, a lot more jobs are going to be created, and esports as a whole is going to flourish. A country of 1 billion people is ought to produce great players. We have the hunger, the grit, and the determination. The passion to represent our country at the highest age of it all. We have that. But there is something which we lack, and to put it simply, it is professional discipline. One of its big reasons is, of course, the lack of structure, regulation, and the standardization of player contracts. Contract breaches have little to no repercussions, both from the sides of players as well as from team owners. Couple that with incidences of players hacking, as well as players randomly hopping between teams, maybe because of better salary or better teammates, with no official transfers, no formal transaction between teams, is again a very major problem which harms the integrity of the professional circuit. Just a few days ago, we saw a rather ugly incident of a player transfer happen. Team owners and players have given us multiple instances of player poaching, which again is a pretty harmful act for the professional community. Indian esports has been heavily dependent on prize pools as a source of revenue. For the tournament organizer, it is getting sponsors on board who advertise their product and pay X sum for it. For the teams though, it is the amount of money to receive for winning the tournament. However, that is not a sustainable and scalable model. You need a more reassured mode of generating revenue. Winning and losing is a part and parcel of sports as well as esports, and therefore winning shouldn't really be the only criteria for survival. A few bad seasons shouldn't really mean that a team has to get disbanded because of the shortage of funds. And now sure, they can make money on the side with sponsorship deals and whatnot, but from the tournaments that they are playing and for the people who are watching the tournament because of the team and its players, they should be compensated. Here comes broadcast rights, title sponsors, etc. The revenue that the tournament organizer or the publisher generates from the tournament gets shared between the teams that are participating. Not equally, the teams for whom more people turn up to watch the tournament, they get a bigger chunk of the pile. Now there's still time before mainstream media accepts esports, but once the publisher steps in, sets up a big esports circuit with a concrete plan for the next 5 years, I'm pretty sure that the results are going to be terrific. Honestly, that is not even a problem, because once we clean up the mess that is within us, once we fix our own problems, I feel the publishers are going to step in and lay the foundation for a big esports circuit. But that would be the final cherry on top of the cake. Before that, we need to prove that we are great audience, we are great players, we are great team owners, we are great athletes, we are personalities who can completely eliminate hate from the scene. Once we prove that our love for esports is stronger than the problems we face, once we prove that as a society we can beat toxicity, brands, organizations, publishers, all of them are gonna come in and esports is gonna flourish. The day is pretty close though, but